Up on Rumble, and good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with, what do we got on November 2nd? We have, actually, starting off of main source here, 619, a Quaghan of the Western Turkic Khaganate was assassinated in a Chinese palace by Eastern Turkic rivals after the approval of Tang Emperor Gaozo. Wow, that's some, a Turkish person assassinated in the Chinese lands and all that stuff. And what the heck is a Quaggan? Let's see. Quaggan or Kagan is a title of imperial rank in the Turkic and Mongolian languages equal to the status of emperor and someone who rules a Khaganate or empire. So an emperor was murdered in foreign lands. Oh, I bet that didn't go over well.
No, probably not.
That sounds like the beginning of a war to me. 676 though, now you can go.
676, Donus begins his reign as Catholic Pope, replacing Pope Adeodatus II.
Ah, alright. So it's a Pope Day for this source here.
Yeah, Pope Day. Pope Deal.
Yeah, that's what Alice and I started calling, like whenever it starts off with something involving the papacy, it's a Pope Day. So, which, believe it or not, audience, Alice might be coming back. So, anyway.
Alright.
Yeah.
Peace treaty between the Chinese Jin and Song dynasties. The Song resumes paying tribute after 2 years of fighting.
Oh, ain't that a kick in the head right there. So you fight for 2 years, you end up going back to paying. Wow. Yeah. Moving on up a couple hundred years here.
1642, Second Battle of Breitenfeld, aka First Battle of Leipzig. Victory over the Swedish army under Field Marshal Lance Torstensson over Holy Roman Empire army under Archduke Leopold Wilhelm of Austria.
All right. First Battle of Leipzig. Leipzig becomes rather known word in history and everything. There's the ship of Leipzig for the German Navy or something. And here we go again.
Oh, next. 1648. 12,000 Jews massacred by Chimichuriki hordes and Noral Ordelia. You look that up. Why?
I am. Oh, here we go. The Kamianowski Uprising. Also known as the Cossack Polish War or the Kamianowski Insurrection. It was a Cossack rebellion that took place between 1648 and 1657. So this is 1648 when this Jew thing happened. In the eastern territories of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, which led to the creation of Cossack Hetmanates in Ukraine. Under command of the Hetman Woden Kamianowski, the Zaporizhian Cossacks, allied with Crimean Tatars and local Ukrainian peasantry, fought against Polish domination in the Commonwealth's forces. The insurgency was accompanied by mass atrocities committed by Cossacks against the civilian population, especially against the Roman Catholic and Lutheran Unite clergy and Jews, as well as savage reprisals by Jeremy Wisniewski, the voivode, military governor of the Ruthenian voivodeship. So it wasn't just the Jews, but, the Roman Catholics and, these other people, as well as, these other guys. So it's kind of funny how, once again, we only talk about one people being the victim of a massacre, a little strange. Yeah, where's the representation for all the others? How many of them that got killed? We'll probably never know. So... Anyway, 1675, King Philip's War, Plymouth Colony Governor Josiah Winslow led Plymouth, Rhode Island, Massachusetts Bay, and Connecticut militias against the Narraganistas. Hold on, let me try this again. Narraganistas Narragansetts, fearing they would join King Philip's cause. So basically, he gathered up a bunch of militias from various other colonies and did this whole thing out of fear of them joining that. So preemptive attack. 1698, Scottish settlers made landfall in Panama, establishing the ill-fated Darien Venture colony. So they're all the way down in Panama. All right. 1712, Suriname government gave French hijacker Jacques Custard 682,800 francs, I believe, is what that F is. And Suriname was like owned by French, right? Like a colony is the word. Like French Suriname, I think. So that would make sense why they would use the French economy there. We have some comments here. Thank you, good Sir King. Hi everyone. Hope you are all having a good day. Yeah. Actually, hold on a second. Here we go. Yep, you also on Rumble. So thank you very much. Let's see here. 1749. What do we got?
1749, English Ohio Trade Company forms first trading post.
All right.
Oh, sorry. 1772, Boston Anti-English Committee of Correspondence. What?
So in Boston, in the city of Boston, an anti-English committee of correspondence formed. So basically, talking in between the different colonies without it, being intercepted by the British. So this was leading up to the revolution and all that stuff. This so anti-English, governmental overlords and all that stuff. So in 1783,
General Washington, later first U.S. president, bids farewell to his army after the American Revolutionary War.
Yep. I think they disbanded the army, actually, because, there was really no need and all that stuff. Like, they still had militias and all that stuff, and still have the ability to do that today, although, the system's trying its damnedest to get rid of it, but yeah, like, armies are only needed by nations seeking war or seeking defense. Otherwise, the whole thing, remember in Star Wars, they built the whole Grand Army as a response to the droid army and all that stuff. So, 1795 here, the French Directory, a 5-man revolutionary government, was created. All right. 1852, Democrat Franklin Pierce elected 14th President of the United States. Okay. 1854, a cobblestone paving of Washington Street between DuPont and Kearny started. Cool. So they started paving, with more, no more dirt roads and all that stuff. More like uniform, solidified pavement for horse-drawn carriages, obviously in 1854. So, but that's what I found fascinating in the Red Dead Redemption games, 1 and 2. You're out there on the horse and everything, but then you go to whatever that city is, and the roads are cobblestone paved. The civilization, as we like to say, is coming. Like a cancer. Yeah. This one is pretty big here. It damn near started the Civil War by itself. But what do we got? Your mic.
There we go. All right. Sorry. 1859, American abolitionist John Brown found guilty of murder, inciting slaves to revolt, and treason against the Virginia territory during his raid of Harper's Ferry Armory, and sentenced to hang.
Yeah, so as it says here, he was an abolitionist. He was, about abolishing slavery and all that stuff. And, he was inciting slaves to revolts. But, this Harper's Ferry Armory raid, he and his, his little group and everything, that was a U.S. military armory. And he busted in and took it over and, hunkered down. And, there was a whole, a standoff there and all that stuff. And I believe people did get shot and killed. But it was all, he would essentially be referred to as a terrorist by today's standards, against slavery. you know, I don't know what to think about this guy. Was he a hero or was he a terrorist? Because what he wanted was he wanted to get rid of slavery. You know, get all that stuff out. So that's the hero part, but his actions, you know, are a little questionable. And as I said before, this incident itself almost sparked the outbreak of the Civil War, but that wouldn't last. That wouldn't start until a little bit later. You know, 1860, 1861, somewhere in there. So it was like right on the cusp. So maybe, you know, the Civil War started in part because of this event. Um, it's you know, it's an interesting thing to look into. But anyway, moving on up, what else do we have here?
1867, women's fashion magazines Harper's Bazaar is first published.
All right.
I wonder if that's still a thing.
Let me look it up, actually. Harper's Bazaar. Let's see here. Harper's Bazaar. All right. Well, that looks modern. Like, you know, it's all colored. Like you know, the images and all that stuff. Like, it's not black and white and stuff. So it's
cover that says right there under the issue.
2020. So it is still around.
There you go.
All right. Cool.
All right. 1868 time zone. New Zealand officially adopts the standard time to be observed nationally.
All right. So now New Zealand is, you know, with the rest of the brackets, which you'd think with 24 hours being in the day, there'd only be 24 time zones, correct?
Mm-hmm.
There's more like 36. Like,
Oh, wow.
many time
How many?
zones?
I never pondered that thought.
Yeah, for each time zone, we're 1 hour apart. There would be 24 in the world, but the real number is much higher. You know, yada yada yada. What's the number though? Come on, because I know that there's some time zones that are off by a half hour, not by an hour. Well, this is not telling me. Currently, 38 different local times in use. So there's 38 time zones with a 24-hour clock, because that makes sense. And here's a map, and like you can see, like, you know, these blue time zones here, you know, are like, you know, are the same zone, and you got to put into account the curvature of the Earth. But you know, it's really wacky. So let's see if there's an actual image of, you know, like. Come on. Oh, that's the same damn thing. Anyway, what else do we got? 1875.
Vernie Cameron reaches Benguela in Angola from Africa's east coast, the first European to cross equatorial African from sea to sea.
Yeah. So going from one side to the other across the continent.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1880 year, James A. Garfield, a Republican, elected 20th President of the United States. All right. Off a main source, 1882, the Great Fire destroyed a large part of Oulu's city center in Oulu Province, Finland. And this reminds me of the mud flood theory. You know how we all moved in and everything after, because like, there was so many great fires here and there all over the world, you know, at around the same time, almost as if it was planned. You know, to get rid of the past, bury it, and then, oh, like, you know, we've always lived here. Oh, look at this. You know, another thing to look into is the mud flood. That's a rabbit hole and a half there.
Yeah.
1886, German patent granted to inventor Carl Benz for a vehicle with gas engine operation, the first automobile. Patent number is DE37435C. So, all right, so yeah, automobiles, 1886. Far back as in. Actually, what did it look like? You know, like what? Okay, that's right. So it was a tricycle. That's the first automobile. Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tricycle. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that's
wow.
That's a two-seater. It looks like a one-seater because of the angle, but you can see two people. Now that'd probably be a one-seater by today's standards with how freaking obese everybody is, but like, you know, you could fit two people back up in there, you know. And then now we got now somehow we went back, we got worse, you know. We got this DePlorean crap going on. 1889.
1889, North Dakota becomes 39th, and South Dakota becomes 40th state in the United States. Is the music a little high? The music sounds a little high.
Do I sound a little high? Oh.
The music.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right
I know, it's fine.
music.
Like, if I can hear it, then it's too high.
I don't know if it's the right music.
Oh, it is, yeah. Epic music, 1 hour of epic inspirational historical music. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do we got here in 1895?
1895, first organized auto race in the United States is run in Chicago. 6-car race over 52 miles lakefront course. 2 finished because of blizzard conditions.
Wow,
Oof.
so 6 years after the first automobile patent and all that stuff, and we already have auto race. Look at that, dude. Like, you're driving a bathtub. That's awesome.
Right.
Could you imagine driving that in blizzard conditions? Like,
Oh my god.
man, dude, we have grown so soft. Like, yeah, there's a, I guess a painting. It wouldn't be a photograph, but you can see him going downhill with those tires in snow. Oh my god. And that's the real death race right there.
Wow, right.
18. We have 2 more 1800s. Ooh, this is a U article if there ever was one. Perfect.
1898, cheerleading begins in the United States as Johnny Campbell leads the crowd cheering on the football team at the University of Minnesota.
All right, so, and this was the first cheerleading line. So it wasn't, all these, women and skimpy stuff. It was, men with, jackets, and, this guy had a megaphone. And, but I mean, like, back then it was about cheering, not about oogling, like, oh, I wonder how the jiggle physics are going to look, when she's jumping, no, like, we're supposed to be cheering the team, come on, stop staring at the women, stare at the team, cheer them on, they need your support.
Yeah, go team.
Yeah.
1899, Boers begin siege of Ladysmith, Natal.
Yep, it was a 118-day siege, of the British held Ladysmith during the Second Boer War. So they were trying to take it back. 1903, British newspaper Daily Mirror began publishing, and I think they're still around. Like, it sounds familiar. The Daily Mirror? No.
Daily Mirror.
The Mirror, U.S. Daily Mirror, British. Let's see, Daily Mirror. Okay, here we go. A front page of March 2017, founded. They're still around, it sounds like. It doesn't say defunct. So circulation, as of May 2024. So they're still around too. All right. 1907, Ottawa Mint Proclamation was published. For the sake of time, I'm not going to look that up. But if anybody wants to do so and let us know in the comment section, what this was. It sounds like a government, decree or something. 1907 as well, U.S. banker J.P. Morgan, oh, you're going to laugh at this, locked over 40 bankers in his library to force them to find ways to avert New York banking crisis. This is exactly what Jimmy Hoffa did with the Crips and the Bloods. They had a lock-in. He locked them in until they came to some kind of consensus. That is hilarious.
That's awesome.
You're going to fix the economy, click. Off a main source here, 1912, Bulgaria defeated the Ottoman Empire in the Battle of Lule-Bargas, the bloodiest battle of the First Balkan War, which opened the way to Constantinople. So I believe this is, was it still named Constantinople, or was it named Istanbul? Because...
good question.
Yeah, because, by 1912, it's the Ottomans, they are Islam, and they renamed it to Istanbul after they took it from the Romans, which had named it Constantinople. And before that, it was something else. So the Romans took it from something else, so it wasn't a Roman construct. 1913.
St. Louis Browns player manager George Stovall, fired the previous summer, is the first MLB player to jump into the Federal League, signing to manager to the Kansas City Packers.
Ah, so different Packers.
Mm.
All right, so that's pretty interesting. He got fired and then he got promoted somehow.
That's Great Britain annexes begins in 1914 in Cyprus.
Ah, yeah, and actually, these two as well.
All right, we've got two more 1914s here. One is Great Britain declares the entire North Sea military area. Neutral ships will transit at their own risk.
Yep, be careful out there.
Mm-hmm. One more 1914. Russia declares war on the Ottoman Empire.
Yep, and it caused the Dardanelles to subsequently close. What are the Dardanelles? I've heard of them before. Dardanelles. Okay. Also known as the Strait of Gallipoli. Oh, okay. I know exactly where that is. It's a narrow natural strait, and so this was closed. So for shipping, I believe, obviously. 1915, the first U.S. election held, the first U.S. election by proportional representation, Ashtabula, Ohio. So all right, so they're getting some representation there. That's good. 1916, Battle of Verdun, Fort Vaux was reconquered from the Germans by French troops without firing a shot. That's an anomaly right there. How do you conquer a fort without, shooting people? That's...
I don't know.
1917, Balfour Declaration proclaimed British support for a Jewish state in Palestine, quote, establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, end quote, with the clear understanding, quote, that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities, end quote. Gee, I wish they had kept that mentality. So... 1917, in World War I, the first U.S. soldiers were killed in combat. James Gresham, Thomas Enright, and Merle Hay. May you rest in peace. 1917 as well. Actually, yeah, I'm going to take just these two because we have this other one that's off of main source here. So 1917, Lansing Ishii Agreement. U.S. recognized Japan's privileges in China. That was not a good move right there. Just opening the floodgate for them to do what they did. And we also have the Military Revolutionary Committee of the Petrograd Soviet in charge of preparation and carrying out the Russian Revolution held its first meeting. This is the beginning of, Lenin's rise and all that stuff. The Soviets, the communists. What else do we got here in... oh, wait, we already got that. So, never mind. Hold on. So, I will get rid of that. And let's move on up to 1920.
Warren G. Harding is elected president of the United States, defeating Democrat candidate James M. Cox.
All right.
Another night. 1920, Weston radio station in East Pittsford, KDKA, begins broadcasting with presidential and local election returns.
Yep, this was the first commercial radio station, and this broadcast of presidential and local election returns was the first broadcast. So the first broadcast on the first commercial broadcasting station for radio. That's pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah.
1922, Allies deliberate over a German mark.
Yep. So they're trying to figure out what to do with the value of the currency. That was their.
The marks.
Yeah. They had the marks. France had the francs. British have the pound. We have the dollar. So trying to figure out, because it's 1922. It's after the war. They're trying to figure out what to do with their economy. It's like, how are we going to screw over these people unfairly? 1923, bloody street fights in Aachen led to establishment of the ill-fated Rhenish Republic. All right. Once again, if anybody can figure out a little bit more about the Reddish Republic, let us know in the comments section. I would like to look it up, but for the sake of time, I'm going to keep on moving here. 24, Sunday Express published first British crossword puzzle. I remember my grandmother, solving those back in the day. Like, she loved solving the crossword puzzles in the newspaper. 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandpa used to do that.
Huh. 28, Dmitri Shostakovich's first symphony premiered in the U.S., so while King gets invaded by a giant fly. With Leopold Stokowski leading the Philadelphia Orchestra at the Academy of Music, Philadelphia. Dmitri Shostakovich, the one guy Stalin couldn't kill. So, what do we got here in 30?
1930 coronation of Raz Safari, Makanin Haile Selassie first, the 225th Emperor of Ethiopia, Solamic dynasty.
Wow. That's a pretty good dynasty right there. 225? I wonder if it's still around. Yeah. Here we go. There's the big one.
1932, the Great Emu War begins in Australia. Soldiers armed with Lewis guns seek to cull the emu population over crop destruction in Campion District, Western Australia.
Spoiler alert, the emus won. The emus won!
They did.
Oh my god. That's a good war to look up, though. Speaking of looking things up out there, there's
great.
a lot of videos on the on YouTube about it.
Great videos on that.
Yeah. 1934 baseball.
I'll be back.
Okay. MLB All-Star team led by Connie Mack, and including Babe Ruth, Jimmy Fox, and Lou Gehrig, started an 18-game tour against Japanese Big Six University League. All right. Every time I see this picture of Connie Mack, he looks like he's a zombie. Like his eyes, his pupils are not showing up that well. 1936, at 3 p.m., the British Broadcasting System began the world's first regular high definition, which was then defined at least 200 lines, TV broadcast, a service from specially constructed studios at Alexandria Palace in North London. Later renamed BBC One in 1964, it is still running to this day. That's pretty cool. Oops, 36, perfect. 36 as well, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, CBC, was established too. Cool. 1938, the Boston Red Sox first baseman Jimmy Fox was voted most valuable player of the American League for the third time. Dang. 1940, during World War II, the first day of the Battle of Elea Kalamas between the Greeks and the Italians. Yep. 43, a Jewish ghetto of Riga in Latvia was destroyed. Good. 47, after just 6 games of the season. Why is this? That's weird. Chicago Blackhawks traded NHL scoring leader Max Bentley along with Cy Thomas to Toronto Maple Leafs for Gus Bodnar, Bud Poyle, Gay Stewart, Bob Goldham, and Ernie Dickens. 1947 as well, in California, designer Howard Hughes flew the Hughes H-4 Hercules Spruce Goose, the largest fixed-wing aircraft ever built, for the first and last time. This was eclipsed when Scaled Composites rolled out their Strato launch in May of 2017. And I've been inside the Spruce Goose when it was out here. I wish the Golden Loon was here so he can add to the story. But when I was a kid, family and I went down to Long Beach, where the Queen Mary is. That giant dome that's now like the terminal for cruises. That used to be where the Spruce Goose was, and they have since moved it up to Seattle, Washington, or whatever. But yeah, when it was there, I was there and I was in it, and it was a marvel. So. What is this Strato launch? Oh, this one. Okay, yeah. So that's the largest fixed-wing aircraft ever built. The only thing bigger than Spruce Goose. And that's another thing to look up. The Spruce Goose. It was designed, for the war effort. Specifically made of wood because all metal, was needed to make ships and tanks and all that stuff. and it was that big, so it can be, it was designed to transport troops and tanks and all that stuff, and that was the whole idea behind it. But it just never, really took off, so to speak, beyond that one time. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Golden Loon here.
Yeah, we were just literally talking about the Spruce Goose.
Oh, yeah.
This
Cool.
This is when it was flown in 1947.
Yeah.
I just went over the whole story about, when we went down, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I saw it and went in it and all
How
that stuff.
big it is. It's really something.
And it was eclipsed later in 2017 by this aircraft, the largest fixed-wing aircraft.
Wow.
So, and that is double cockpit. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on up to 1948, President Harry Truman was reelected in an upset victory over Republican candidate Thomas E. Dewey.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's famous pictures. Obviously, I don't remember. But, yeah, Dewey wins, and he's...
Oh, yeah, that was one of the mistaking prints.
Yeah.
1949, the Netherlands ended rationing programs started during World War II for distribution of textiles, meat, and cheese. I remember we were talking about the cheese ration not too long ago when it started.
Yeah.
49 as well, the Netherlands recognized its former colony Indonesia as a sovereign state at conclusion of the Roundtable Conference at The Hague in Netherlands, creating the United States of Indonesia. All right. 1950, the Clover Dairy Company test marketed the first concentrated milk, known as Seal Test, in the U.S. in Wilmington, Delaware.
Concentrated milk, yum.
Yeah, that just sounds palatable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which I loved your description of one of my microwave dinners. Oh, it's palatable. And you're right. It's not my favorite either, but it's food. 1951, Canada in the Korean War. A platoon of the Royal Canadian Regiment defended a vital area against a full battalion of Chinese troops in the Battle of the Songguk Spur. This engagement lasted until the early hours of the next day. So go Canada.
Yeah.
1953, Pakistan became an Islamic Republic. And that's where everything turned to shit.
Yeah, it didn't help.
Yep. 1954, BBC radio comedy Hancock's Half Hour debuted, starring Tony Hancock and Sid James, written by Ray Galton and Alan Simpson.
I wonder why that's highlighted,
Yeah, well, they have some cricket things highlighted.
No.
We have a gallbladder surgery highlighted later today. It's weird, so it makes no sense. What do we got here in 56? There it is.
Hungary appealed for the UN assistance against Soviet invasion.
Yep.
Yeah,
we've been talking about the Hungarian Revolution for the past couple of days.
Yep. When tanks were rolling in.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Tanks started coming in.
Yep.
And actually, speaking of that, we have Alpha Main Source here, 1956. During the Hungarian Revolution, Nikita Khrushchev met with leaders of other communist countries to seek their advice on the situation in Hungary, selecting János Kadar as the country's next leader on the advice of Joseph Broz Tito. That's a name I recognize.
Tito?
Yep, Tito. I'm trying to remember what country he was in charge of. Oh, Yugoslavia, right? Joseph Broz Tito.
Could have been, yeah. It's somewhere in the Eastern Bloc. I know that.
So, I'm gonna say Yugoslavia. Yep, right there, Yugoslav communists. I know my history.
Good pull.
Yeah, 1956 as well. During the Suez Crisis, Israel occupied the Gaza Strip. Why are they occupying the Gaza Strip? They had nothing to do with the Suez. It almost seems as if they are trying to take over everything. What do I know? Why did they? I'm honestly asking, why did they occupy the Gaza Strip during that?
Well, they were attacked and they took over part of
Palestine?
No.
What's left of Palestine?
Egypt. They took part of Egypt. They gave it back eventually.
Yeah.
And they went into. They were attacked and they fought back.
Uh-huh.
The only thing they did keep though was the Golan Heights, which we've talked about many times.
Mm-hmm. What do we got here?
First titanium mill opened in Toronto, Ohio.
Ah, titanium.
Titanium.
Yeah.
That's what's in my knees.
Yeah. I wonder if some of your knees came from this place, or the mill.
I have no idea.
If it's been recycled, how many times through the system. And here's something for us ufologists out there.
1957, the Lavelle UFO case in Lavelle, Texas, generate national publicity. Remains one of the most impressive UFO cases in American history.
All right. I've never heard of it. Yeah, neither have I. But I'm not that much of a ufologist. It's an intrigue of mine, but yeah, this is something to look into. 1958, the Los Angeles Rams defeated the Chicago Bears, the Bears, 41-35 before 90,833 fans at the Los Angeles Coliseum, becoming the NFL single game attendance record, which I wonder if it still stands. So,
probably not.
Yeah. So,
but that Coliseum's huge. That was done originally was built for the 34 Olympics or whatever it was.
Okay. 1959, game show contestant Charles Van Doren confessed during a congressional investigation that TV quiz show 21 was fixed via him having been given questions and answers in advance.
Yeah, there was a bunch of game shows.
Oh yes, there was a whole thing.
Were found to be a little corrupt. I think the first one was a $64,000 question.
Yeah, there was a problem.
Yeah.
So, what's up, King?
And oh yeah.
Yeah. No, like there's videos about it and all that stuff. Like there's a whole thing in the industry.
I was a kid,
for a while.
Yeah, when that all broke, late 50s is when it was. So I was a kid, 10, 12 years old.
Yeah. And to wrap up the 50s, in 1959 here, the first section of the M1 motorway, the first interurban motorway in the United Kingdom, was opened between the present junctions of 5 and 18, along with the M10 motorway and M45 motorway. So, all right. What do we got here in 1960s?
New York Yankees outfielder Roger Maris beats teammate Mickey Mantle for American League MVP award, 225 to 222. Second closest vote
called M&M. Maris and Mantle.
Well,
they were also vying for hitting 60 home runs or something like that too. I don't know if it was the same year, but one year.
Sounds familiar. Yeah, 225 to 222, a 3-point discrepancy, and that's the second closest.
Yeah.
I wonder what the first is.
Yeah.
That's a challenge for our viewers to look up. See, that's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to try not to look up so much stuff, so that way, our viewers, get bugged to look it up and share it with, other viewers and with us. And you become involved. Don't just watch us. Become part of us. You know.
Make it a living history.
Yeah. 60?
1960, Penguin Books cleared for obscenity in UK for publishing G.H. Lawrence's Lady Chatterley's Lover.
Ooh.
Saucy.
Yeah. Well, Penguin Books is like a family.
Here we go.
Like, hold on a second. I got to bring up the Family Guy clip. Hold on. Family Guy Penguin Publishing. Yeah, here it is.
Penguin Publishing. You want to get a book published, don't you?
Well, yes.
Well, if you want to be in black and white's got to be in you.
Oh,
man.
Yikes.
Wow.
What else do we got?
1963, Indigo Dinh Diem, the president of South Vietnam, is overthrown and assassinated in a coup by the South Vietnamese army.
I wasn't sure if you were reading his name or if you were singing the first chords of the banjo, thing. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding. That's gonna give me some hate. 1964, Columbia Broadcasting System bought 80% share in the New York Yankees baseball club for $11.2 million, later to purchase the club outright. So, okay. And we also have King Saud of Saudi Arabia was deposed by a family coup, replaced by his half-brother Faisal. Well, if you know Saudi Arabian history and how, he conquered that whole peninsula with blood, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. It just seems fitting for that to happen to him.
Although I don't know, it was King Saud that conquered. It was
King Saud.
He conquered
yes.
Okay. He is the one that conquered? Okay, because it seems like
Who created Saudi Arabia? History of Saudi Arabia, yada yada yada. So,
Probably going to be a deep dive here.
Al Saud dynasty in Central Arabia, 1727.
Yeah, see, that
so,
goes. It's got to
yeah.
go back further than the 1900s. That's
Yeah,
what I was saying.
but
Okay.
the same family still
Yeah,
runs
yes,
at the
yes,
Sauds.
yes, the Saud family.
Yeah,
I think they're still there today.
yeah, they are. So, for whatever reason, we work with them. I don't know why. So, 1965.
Oil.
Yeah. 1965, Norman Morrison, a 31-year-old Quaker, set himself on fire in front of the river entrance to the Pentagon in protest of the use of napalm in the Vietnam War. A lot of those monks did that and everything, but that happened out here. The Quaker.
I guess he burned out.
Oh, come on, man. Do you not have your oats this morning? 1966.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Yep.
1966, the Cuban Adjustment Act comes into force, allowing 123,000 Cubans opportunity to apply for permanent residence in the U.S. Good.
All right.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Cool. As long
We
as they do
need
it
more
legally,
people.
like
Yeah.
we got an Alpha Main source one here, 1967. U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson and quote-unquote the wise men concluded that the U.S. people should be given more optimistic reports in the progress of the Vietnam War. That sounds like propaganda. So
I've never heard of the wise men.
neither have I. So
That'd be something
outside of
I'd like to hear
the
about
Jesus
later
story,
on, not during the show.
but yeah, just right there, like a more optimistic report. So propaganda. So
Yeah.
And this one I absolutely love. 1968.
Band march. A band march in Derry, North Ireland, by members of the Derry Citizen Action Committee (DCAC) is joined by thousands due to the number of people taking part. The Royal Ulster Constabulary is unable to prevent it.
Yeah, take that, you freaking oppressors.
Yeah.
The power is in the
Take that,
people. They
oppressors.
couldn't oppress,
Yeah. So,
Ireland trying to demonstrate they want to be free. So, 1969, 41-year-old Detroit right-wing Gordie Howe picked up his 19th and final NHL hat trick as the Red Wings defeated Pittsburgh Penguins 4-3. Howe was the oldest player to score an NHL hat trick, and I wonder if he still is. At 41, I don't know.
He's one of the all-time greats, though, Gordie Howe.
Right here, ice hockey legend. They don't just toss that word around on this source
and he
here.
literally is.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I don't know much about hockey, but I
don't
know
either,
about him.
But yeah,
So
exactly right.
thanks to Alice, though, she opened up the whole hockey door to my brain. So
The hockey door is open.
yes. 1971, Baltimore Orioles pitcher Pat Dobson no-hits the Yamamori Giants 2-0. First hitter in history of exhibition play between U.S. and Japanese teams. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about earlier, like a whole bunch of names, like I don't remember, but Babe Ruth was involved, like some kind of thing over in Japan, baseball thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Never heard of that, huh?
Yeah. 1971 as well. Retired boxer Jersey Joe Walcott knocks out. I love this terminology. Knocks out William Strange in election for sheriff of Camden County, New Jersey. First black citizen to be elected for the position. So he defeated him in the polls, but he knocked him out in the polls.
Yeah.
Kind of like how out here it was Judgment Day for Gray Davis when we voted for Mr. Screw Your Freedoms. Yeah, so the apple didn't fall far from the Nazi tree with that dude. But 72, construction began on the King Dome in Seattle.
Oh.
Yeah. What else do we got here in 1972? As you read that, I'm going to try to find this other baseball thing here.
1972, government of the Republic of Ireland introduces the bill to remove the special position of Catholic Church from the Irish Constitution.
All right. Separation of church and state. I couldn't really find it on there, so I'm going to try to find it.
What are you looking for?
I'm like that other baseball thing that I was talking about. So, like when Babe Ruth and company went to Japan and all that stuff.
That has to be way back.
Yeah, I'll just look it up on this other source over here. What else do we got here?
Philadelphia? Okay.
The 1972 Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Steve Carlton is unanimously selected National City Cy Young Award winner. Wins 27 games for Phillies, who, as a team, win only 59 games.
Dang.
Yeah. We'll jump in with your other baseball deal then.
Yeah, well, right here, like as we read earlier, 1934 MLB All-Star team led by Connie Mack and including Babe Ruth, Jimmy Fox, and Lou Gehrig started an 18-game tour against Japanese Big Six University
no
League.
kidding.
But it's also the anniversary of the first automobile and cheerleading. You know, you missed a lot.
Yeah.
Like this is the
Well,
first
don't back
cheerleading.
up.
I'm not.
I missed.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we're gonna move on up here. 1973.
Barbara Streisand, all their musical instruments, special premieres on CBS TV.
Now, judging by the way it's titled, Barbara Streisand, Ellipses, and Other Musical Instruments, does this insinuate that Barbara Streisand's a musical instrument? Like,
Well, she had a really powerful voice. And I think the way I didn't really say.
I'm trying to offend people by subtly objectifying a woman here.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to give you an answer.
You're taking it seriously. Oh my god. 1973, Apple Records released Ringo, Ringo Starr's third studio album in the U.S., his biggest commercial and critical success, featuring the singles Photograph, You're 16, and Oh My My. And oh my my indeed, these sound very troublesome in today's world. Photograph, 16, oh my my, what are you doing?
Well, that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
There are very attractive, shall we say, 16-year-olds, and that's kind of a dangerous thought, you know.
Yeah, let's
what I'm
never
getting at.
say that again on air. Or ever. Yeah. Yikes. 73, OLAID, the Latin American Energy Organization, formed. All right. 74 is 78 people. I'm sorry?
Nothing.
Okay. 78 people died when the Time Go-Go Club in Seoul, South Korea, burnt down. 6 of the victims jumped to their deaths from the 7th floor after the club official barred the doors after the fire started. What the
They
hell?
barred the doors?
After the fire started.
Oh, my God.
This is worse than yesterday's padlocked escape route.
Yeah, I know that. I was gonna say is yesterday. What are we doing?
This is
Come
an
on, don't
intentional
lock the
act,
doors.
though.
Yeah, this is murder. No. And were you pointing out that we have a comment on the Rumble side, Sir King? Because I
What?
see we just have they're linking a Rumble for whatever
Mhm.
reason. So are they just
Oh
popping
yeah, I
in?
saw that. You
Okay.
you can delete that on your side.
Yeah, I'm
Good
gonna
one.
go ahead
Good
and delete. Goodbye. Yep. So
There you
yeah, don't come in here and advertise your crap, people. Have some taste. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1975. Here it is.
go. First sports event in Summit area in Houston. NBA's Houston Rockets beat Milwaukee Bucks 140-89. Future Rockets coach Rudy Tomjanovich top scores with 24 points.
All right. So if anyone's been to the Summit Arena in Houston, this is when it first started for sporting events. Oh, we get to talk about a peanut farmer this time.
There you go.
1976 Democrat candidate Jimmy Carter is elected president of the United States, defeating incumbent Republican President Gerald Ford. Walter Mondale elected vice president.
You know, I'm sitting here and looking at my, unused bowl of Halloween candy. We only had one group of trick-or-treaters this year, but that was better than last year. But I'm wondering if any Jimmy Carter peanuts have gone into peanut M&Ms.
Candy, it's all mine. I don't have to.
Oh no, dude! This is not the whole collection. This is just what I have up here. We have so much, story time. For whatever reason, okay, the loon, God bless his soul, decided to send me, a stoner, by myself to go pick up Halloween candy. I gave him an out.
Woo-hoo.
I tried to get him to come with me,
What a
but I
mistake.
wasn't going to fully rat myself out. He still let me go. And how did that end up?
Well, hard to carry it all in, I'll tell you that.
$40 of candy. 2 bags. $20 a pop at Costco.
Huge bags.
Yeah. So, anyway, 1977, microbiologist Carl R. Woese and scientists from the University of Illinois announced the identification of methanogens, a form of microbial life, archaea, dating back to some 3.5 billion years. Wow.
Oh.
That's an incredible find right there. 1978, Arnold Shapiro's, I wonder if he has any relation to Ben Shapiro, TV documentary Scared Straight, narrated by Peter Falk as a controversial and questionable deterrent to juvenile delinquency, debuted on Los Angeles KTLA TV.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Well, with how prison
Scared
culture
straight.
is, I don't think you're being scared straight. You know, you're
Well,
going the
what
other
it
way.
was is they took teenagers.
Yeah, no, I know what it is.
Okay.
But at the same, because there's a TV program that came on later.
Oh,
There's
is there?
Yeah,
Okay.
they Scared Straight.
Yeah,
Everything.
that went sideways, didn't it?
Yeah, very much so. But see, all this does is teach children the value of making connections before you end up in the clink.
Yeah.
You're not scaring them straight. You're
No.
teaching them how to be better criminals. So,
No.
yeah. Huh. 1978, Wayne Gretzky was sold to the Edmonton Oilers after just 8 games with the Indianapolis Racers of the I guess the World Hockey Association, the WHA. Scoring 6 points, scored 104 points in 72 games, both teams combined, and was named Rookie of the Year. All right, yeah, ice hockey great. So he's beyond a legend.
Oh, he's probably the GOAT.
He's a myth, so he's mythical. What do we got here? That's not the right one. Here we go.
1979, Studio 54 owners are arrested for tax evasion.
Studio 54 is familiar. What was it?
What was that?
What was Studio 54? It sounds familiar.
It was a nightclub.
Oh, okay, that's why. Arrested for tax evasion. Oh.
Well, the owners.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. We got another 82.
1982 fire in Soling Tunnel, Afghanistan. 1,000 Russians die. Oof. Jeez.
1,000 plus.
Tunnel. Oh my
Wow.
god.
You know what? I was just saying, why are there like over 1,000 Russians in Afghanistan? Wait, the year, would they be soldiers?
Yeah.
Would this be the proxy war that we were having? That the CIA formed the Taliban.
Well, the Russians were in there. They were in Afghanistan fighting the government trying to overtake it. That's where, what's his name?
Bin Laden.
Bin Laden, fought the Russians and everything.
Yeah.
We
And he was a CIA
giving
asset.
we were giving them all kinds of help.
Yeah.
And then when we went into Saudi Arabia, when they invited us in, that's when he turned on us. Says no, foreign armies on our land, no.
Yep. Let's see here. 1982, off a main source, Channel 4 started broadcasting, and not 4chan, a different Channel 4. Oh. 1983, what do we have?
1983 Thriller, single released worldwide by Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Major one. Yep.
Very good.
This one's really good.
1983 U.S. President Ronald Reagan signs bill establishing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday.
All right. Yeah. And we spoke about this the other day, like how it lands on a Monday, either on or around his birthday, but that way it's the Monday and it's consecutive every year.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right.
84, Velma Barfield became the first woman executed in the United States since 1962. What the hell did she do?
Something not good.
85, LA Kings scored 5 goals in the span of 5 minutes and 37 seconds, the fastest in NHL team history. routed Hartford Whalers 8-1 at Hartford Civic Center. Yikes. They got their ass handed to them there. 1986, German tennis star Boris Becker won his third tournament in 3 weeks on different continents. Defeated Sergio Castel of Spain 6-4, 6-3, 7-6 in the final of the Paris Open after victories in Japan and Australia. This guy's a real Mr. Worldwide. 86 as well. During the Lebanon hostage crisis, U.S. hostage David Jacobson was released in Beirut after 17 months in captivity. Yeah. What do we got here in 1988?
1988, A's Sports Shop Walt Weiss wins AL Rookie of the Year. Third straight for Oakland. Jose Canseco, 1986. Mark McGwire, 1987.
Yeah. And, oh.
Yeah. 1988, Mexican radio host station erroneously reports Mike Tyson had died in a car crash.
How do you screw that up?
No, he did not.
Yeah, he did not. Or maybe he did. Maybe we don't have the Mandela effect. Maybe it's the Tyson effect.
Oh, no.
That's another thing to contemplate. So.
1988, the Morris Worm, the first internet-distributed computer worm to gain mainstream media attention, is launched from MIT. Strikes Pentagon, SDI Research Lab, and 6 universities.
There's a whole conspiracy around this saying that the government created the whole thing about computer worms and viruses in order to, they made a problem to solve a problem. Now you got to buy antivirus software, you know, like.
No, that's not that far.
And they can tax it, you know.
But it came from MIT.
Yeah. Well, you know, this is the first one to gain mainstream media attention.
Okay.
So you're not the first one
so
ever.
Not the first one. Yeah.
But but still, MIT. You know, like, and just sent it the Pentagon. You know, like this is an act of terror. Like, but what do I know? Moving on up into 1990, the first NBA game at Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Rolando Blackman top scored with 21 points as Timberwolves beat Mavericks 98-85. All right. 1990 as well, the first regular season game played outside North America by any major professional sports league. The NBA's Phoenix Suns defeated the Utah Jazz 119-96 at the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium in Japan. That's a hell of a long way for 2 U.S. teams to travel.
Yeah.
You know, what the hell?
They still do that. Either go to England or somewhere. Yeah, they'll take 2 teams and they got to travel.
I mean, that's nice and all, but why can't, you know, wherever we're going to, they should have their own team, you know?
Well,
like,
they're trying to expose the NBA to the world and promote basketball worldwide.
Yeah. But they should go inside, like, you know, by trying to start something up too, you know, like.
It's tough when these guys travel all year long. The amount of traveling they do, you know, 40 games a year on the road, and then 40 games at home, and then you're traveling to some other country halfway around the world. That's a tough go.
I thought traveling was against the rules.
Oh, but I'm bummed. Okay.
Yeah. I almost dribbled that joke there. Nothing but net, though.
Oh, might cause a little foul there.
Yeah. 1990 as well, Golden State Warriors registered at 162 over 158 win over the Denver Nuggets at McNichols. That's an interesting name. Arena. With the 320 total points, setting the NBA record for most points scored by 2 teams in a non-overtime game. I wonder if that record's been broken. It's been 34 years. Oh, my God. 1990 is 34 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh. What am I moaning about in front of you?
Yeah.
1990 as well, off a main source, British Satellite Broadcasting and Sky Telecitian, I think I screwed this up, merged to form B Sky B as a result of massive losses. So a merger and all this stuff. What do we got here in 1991?
Second Rugby World Cup final. Twickenham, Australia beats England. England 12-6 by Wallabies fly half. Michael Lang landing 2 penalties and a conversion.
Now that's almost unintelligible, but it's cricket adjacent. Cricket light. So
No, they're nowhere similar.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, what the hell is a fly half? Like,
Well, rugby's more football-esque.
yeah, that's why I say it's cricket adjacent.
Cricket is baseball-esque.
Ah, oh.
1991, Bartholomew I becomes Patriarch of Constantinople, head of 30 million followers in Eastern Orthodox Church.
30 million?
Was it? I'm say 300 million. I'm sorry, I missed
that's
the
all
zero
right.
there. Wow, that's really important.
That's just a little bit. You got
19.
Unmas.
Sorry.
Go for it. I was just saying Unmas. Or Dos Mas, if you want.
1991.
Sorry.
1991, Jermaine Jackson releases Word to the Bad and Anti-Michael song.
Some sibling rivalry happening. Isn't that adorable?
1991, Nevada, biggest comeback in NCAA football history. Overcome a 35-point lead. And third quarter, deflect to a rally to beat Weber State 55-49. That would have been
A 35-point deficit, not a lead.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
in the third quarter. They only go four
Yeah.
quarters, right? Well, quarters, of course.
Wow.
I'm an idiot. Like, what can I say? Well, in 1992, first test flight of Airbus A330. Yeah, at least I caught myself.
You did real quick.
What's a quarter? That's like 13%, right? Like, I don't know. But yeah, first flight of this aircraft, so that's pretty cool. 93, first commemorative. Actually, let's have you read this if I can find it.
1993, first commemorative bricks are laid at Bob Feller Museum, Van Meter, Iowa. Go Iowa.
That's what we got to have you do, King. You got to go have a little road trip and do a little video on that museum.
I thought you were going to get him to become a bricklayer.
Well, I mean, it's honest work. So, 93 as well. Rudy Giuliani won the New York mayoral election, becoming the first Republican mayor since 1965. Almost 30 years. 28 years, actually, if I'm doing correct math. So, Rudy Giuliani, still a big name today. 94, benzene explosion in Dranka, Egypt killed 400 or more people. Yikes, benzene. That's some kind of chemical or something.
Yep.
And we also have NFL announced the expansion. Carolina Panthers would play in the NFC West, while the Jacksonville Jaguars was assigned on the AFC Central. Panthers and Jaguars. Like, what's with all these big cap names? Are we turning into Germany? Like the King Tigers, the Panthers, the this, the that. Like, is this the Fourth Reich happening under our nose through the NFL? Like, oh my goodness.
But don't use indigenous people's names.
Oh heavens no. So, what else do we got here?
Oh.
Yeah. Even though
1995, Spanish Broadcasting System. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's fine. 1995, Spanish Broadcasting System buys New York radio station WPAT-FM for $83.5 million. Holy cow.
That's a lot of $1 million.
Yeah.
A lot of $1 million. Yes. God, jeez. 1996, Miami Heat's Pat Riley becomes 8th coach to win 800 games, 97 and 95 win at Indiana, milestone accomplished 2 weeks shy of his 15th coaching anniversary. Faster than any coach in NBA history.
All right.
Wow.
Started with the Lakers.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good early birthday present there.
Yeah.
For herself.
Right?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. 1997, NFL San Diego Chargers. Eric Metcalf returns punts for touchdown of 85 to 67 yards. And 83-31 loss at Cincinnati joins Hall of Famer Jack Christensen as only player in NFL history to return punts for touchdowns twice in one game.
Dang.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Now, it says here, 97, Typhoon Linda kills at least 208 in southern Vietnam. All right, well, it's not wrong, but from another source, Tropical Storm, Typhoon Linda, made landfall in the Mekong Delta in southern Vietnam, causing over 3,000 deaths.
Whoa.
Well, that's 208 to 3,000. That's a pretty big jump there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not wrong, but, you know. And 99, in the worst mass murder in the history of Hawaii, a gunman shot at 8 people in his workplace, killing 7. This is known today as the Honolulu shootings. So, you know, rest in peace, those guys. And then 2000, once again, you know, our main source, you know, not giving as much information as another one, but Expedition 1 arrived at the International Space Station for the first long-duration stay on board. From this day to present, a continuous human presence in space on the ISS remains interrupted. So from, you know, November 2nd, 2000 until November 2nd, 2024, 24 years, there's always been at least one person up in there.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
you know. And what's even crazier is we have 2 people up there who are stranded and have been there for several months already, and they're going to be there until, what, February, March? Like,
kill and get something going. Isn't Elon Musk involved in that?
Well, yeah, because SpaceX? Boeing is being an idiot, you know? Like,
well, that's no surprise.
Yeah. But yeah, well, Elon Musk, I think they're the ones who are like,
trying to go up and get them.
Well, no, they're delivering supplies for.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but like, because like they initially were going to try to get them, but the suits weren't compatible or something, or no, that was Boeing. Their suits weren't compatible with Boeing. You know, I don't know how the hell that's a problem, but get your shit together, space agencies. Come on.
Trying to put a square peg in a round hole. Doesn't work.
Yeah. What else do we got here?
2002, Mark Messier plays his 1,616 NFL's individual game and a 30-2 Rangers loss against the St. Louis Blues to move into second place of all games played list passes Larry Murphy and ends career with 1,756 games, just 11 shy of Gordie Howe.
Ooh.
Wow. Mark Messier. Like, I know of a Messier in football.
I've heard of him. I heard of him being a hockey player. That's all I know.
2003 U.S. sitcom Arrested Development prepares, created by Mitchell Hurwitz, starring Jason Bateman and Port de Rosa, Michael Cera, and ensemble cast on Fox.
Oh, okay, Michael Cera. I didn't recognize him for half a second.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy has no chin. 2004, George W. Bush was reelected as President of the United States, defeating Democrat candidate flip-flopper John Kerry. I shot myself in the foot in Vietnam, got a Purple Heart.
He got swift-boated.
Yeah.
You've heard that term, right?
Kinda.
Yeah. Right at the very end, he made up a story when he was in Vietnam about he was doing something with swift-boating and he didn't. So he was swift-boated, you know, kind of, they zinged him right before the election and people turned against him, type of thing.
Okay.
They're trying to do a hatchet job on him.
Yeah, that whole... That
Now, it was true, so... But they saved it for the last minute before, you know, so it'd blow up in his face.
Yeah. 2007, the 7th Latin Grammy Awards, Shakira became the first female artist to win Record of the Year, Album of the Year, and Song of the Year. But, you know, we all know that, well, maybe not the Latin American Grammys. I'm not sure if they're as corrupt as we are, but yeah, all of that is all crap, you know. 2010, Lancaster House Agreement signed between British Prime Minister David Cameron and France's Nicolas Sarkozy, a 50-year armed forces defense cooperation treaty, and a nuclear technology cooperation pact.
Ooh, that's pretty big.
Yes. So, you know, for thousands of years, France and Britain, you know, wanted to kill each other, and then now they're buddy-buddy. So, times change. What do we got in 2012?
2012 New York City Marathon canceled because of the effects of the Hurricane Sandy in New York City the week before.
Yeah, that would do it.
Well, I think it was Hurricane Sandy that devastated. What island is that over there?
Coney?
No,
Manhattan?
No, it was farther
New
down.
Jersey?
It doesn't matter. But yeah, they got hit hard by
Yeah.
Hurricane Sandy.
Yeah.
2000.
I was just going to say 2013.
It's okay. 2013, Masahiro Tanaka's record streak for 30 consecutive starts without a loss ends with the Ratunga Golden Eagles Act is beaten 4-2 by Yomiuri Giants in Game 6 of Japan Baseball Series.
All right. It's really nice that, we're getting some Japanese baseball history and all that stuff,
Yeah.
So,
It counts.
yeah. Now, this is a series I have yet to see. So, not sure.
I've never really sat through it, but okay.
All I know is this.
I wager the book's better than the.
Oh, no, wait. Is it this? Is it Three Fingers? Or, like, I don't know.
I don't know.
This is the poster, so.
I'm not. About the movie, I don't know.
Yeah.
The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, directed by Francis Lawrence, starring Jennifer Lawrence and John Hutchinson and Liam Hemsworth, premieres in Berlin.
Is Francis Lawrence Jennifer Lawrence's husband?
I don't know.
They both have
Maybe.
Lawrence. Oh.
Or father,
Sounds.
Oh, whatever.
uncle.
Well, this is it. 2015?
Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull scratched knights and dames from Australia Honours System.
Alright, so slowly getting away from the whole British thing. So no more knights and dames, you're no longer, part of the honor system or whatever. So 2016 Baseball World Series. You know what? You take this. This is major, and you're the baseball guy.
2016 Baseball World Series, Chicago Cubs beats Cleveland Indians 8-7 in a Game 7 at Progressive Field. Cleveland first Cubs title in 108 years. MVP Chicago utility Ben Zobrist.
Yeah,
Wow.
that is the
Holy
longest
cow.
Major League Baseball championship drought.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, like. We lived through history, guys. We saw the Cubs finally win a World Series. Like that was
What
that was
amazed me, it was 8 years ago. Holy
Yeah.
The
cow.
Cubs are gonna win the World Series, you crazy kid.
Now this one is some self-indulgent history here of onthisday.com. On this day, and Xiaomi in 2017 launched a content partnership to display Today in History content in Xiaomi's calendar app to users in India.
Ah.
All right. So, this source. 2018, Blue Note Records released She Remembers Everything. Yeah, she does. The 14th studio album by singer-songwriter Roseanne Cash, produced by Tucker Maritime and Cash's husband, John Leventhal. So, yeah.
Any relation to Johnny Cash? Don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe. 2018 as well. Tiger thought to have killed 13 people shot dead after a month-long hunt near Pandhar Kawada, central India. I remember that.
Do you?
Yeah, I remember. Like there was like a whole thing about man-eating, thing going around, and then they eventually got it, or they believe.
Oh, yeah.
And the killing stopped, so they must have, got it. 2020, the home stretch of the home stretch. Oh God. If you want to take this, or I can take it. This is an awful thing.
You do it.
Baby Shark by Pinkford became the world's most watched video on YouTube with over 7.04 billion with a B views. Ugh.
Why are they watching a baby shark?
It's not a baby shark.
Baby shark, doot doot.
Yeah, let me just show you the baby. This is so stupid. It is so stupid. Like, oh, baby shark dance. This is. Yeah, that's
Million views?
Well, it's not this actual video. There was like this one here. I think it was an anime, but it's just a little kid singing "Baby Shark," do 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 do, and then Mama Shark, Dada Shark, Grandpa Shark, Grandpa, whatever. So dumb.
Please move on as fast as possible.
Yeah. Let's. Here we go. 2021. You take it.
Jihadist gunman ambushed and kills 69 people, including a local mayor in southwest Niger, adding the 530 killed in 2021 to date.
Good.
All I can say is thank God you pronounced that right. Oh my God. Niger. Well, it's just one letter away from being something awful. So, yeah. Anyway, what else do we have here?
2022. Yep. 2022. Ethiopia's government and Iranian authorities reached an agreement and fighting after 2 years of peace talks in South Africa.
All right. And UNMAS 2022.
The U.S. Federal Reserve
Yeah, I know.
interest rates for a fourth straight time to range between 3.75 and 4%. Its highest since 2008, in an effort to fight ongoing inflation.
Yeah, gee, how well is that working? Yeah. 2023, we actually have quite a bit of articles that happened, just on this date last year, one day. Apple Records released the last Beatles song Now and Then as a double A-sided single backed with their first From Me to You. The new song was built from an unfinished 1978 John Lennon demo and a 1995 attempt to complete it that had been abandoned due to technical issues resolved by new technology. And actually, I've seen the mini documentary about it.
You showed that to me, yeah. It's really interesting.
Because of You, or however it was.
And the Beatles got together and
yeah.
kind of put it together with the technology now available.
Yeah, they were able to separate, his voice from the piano and all that stuff, and really remarkable. And the last Beatles song ever, 2023.
Yeah.
Man, dude.
Yeah.
2023 as well. Australian Aaron Patterson charged with 3 counts of murder and 5 attempted murder through mushroom poisoning in high-profile case. I remember talking about this on one of my news shows and everything. Back when it was news.
Yeah. Last year.
Yeah, well, Well, this is when she was charged. The actual thing was like a couple years ago and all this stuff. But,
Okay.
But it was basically she did not like her in-laws, so she wanted to poison them. She didn't want to kill them, but she wanted to make them sick, and she ended up killing a couple of them.
Yeah. I remember that.
Demon woman. We also have a Bletchley Declaration to Assess and Manage Risks of Frontier AI was signed at AI Safety Summit hosted by Rishi Sunak at Bletchley Park, UK. I don't like any of this. And we have 3 articles left, if you want. Actually, perfect right here. So.
All right. You can highlight it. There you go. Now, 2023 former cryptocurrency star Sam Bankman-Fried, convicted of several counts of fraud and conspiracy involving companies FTX, Alameda Research, and a New York court.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Like that
Dude.
blew
A
up.
lot of people.
Tom Brady got involved in it.
Bro, Tom Brady, like.
You can't deflate this, can you?
He bought a whole line of sinker. I can't remember. It was a really high number.
Yeah.
I don't want to say off the top of my head what it is. But
what's his face? Wasn't what's his face the bald guy who got caught with a pizza, like the YouTuber hyper masculine, like Andrew Tate, I think his name. Was he involved in this too? I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
Nah. Can you unhighlight? There you go. 2023, Russia carries out. Can you unhighlight?
Oh, sorry.
The Russian carries out its most extensive artillery attack in the year in Ukraine as Ukraine's commander-in-chief admits the war has reached a deadlock.
Yep. So.
There's a year
Last
going,
one
still
here
going.
before we go on our way out is 2023 Storm Sirion batters northern Europe and southern England with hurricane force winds, leaving 1.2 million in France without power and for at least 4 dead.
Jeez.
That just seems a little low for the power going out.
Yeah.
There's.
Well, remember,
How long do they go out?
They're not a second or
How
third
long do they
world
go?
nation. So
Like, where's the? It's a blur, man. Where's more of that? You can look that up. This is our last one. Let's
Storm Kaling?
let's get this more than just a blurb. Yeah.
All right.
Like it went out. Like, how many days did the power go out in France?
Well, let's see here. 1.2 million French households left without electricity. Prelude, yada yada yada. The events. Let me just search power. Oh well, that's
This
power's
seems
gonna
like a
be
Power
blurb.
outage.
power outage.
Or
1.3
something like
million. So
There you go. See?
fatalities 21.
Yeah. See, it wasn't even correct.
Yeah. Oh, this is why we look things up every now and then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we look things up.
Mhm.
Wind gusts.
Yeah.
Double check,
29th of
triple check.
October through 4th of November.
Okay, so there's the duration of it. That's a long time for winds like that.
Well,
Yeah.
maximum wind gust is 180 miles an hour or 290 kilometers an hour.
That's 5 days. 5 days they have.
On the 4th of November,
Yeah, so
specifically.
you got 4 or 5, 6 days, huh?
Yeah. We have 129 here on the 2nd of November. So these are so the gusts were on these specific dates. So not all 5 days were
Right.
hit by 180, but
The peak
Yeah.
was the 2nd, I guess.
yeah. Anyway, that'll conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history happens and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion. Please check our sources, for cool stuff, including births and deaths, For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We do have other shows, from history to news, movie reactions and reviews, gaming, videos, and memes on the kitchen, and everything else in between on Talk Show. Check the underbar. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
King's Refuge.
Golden Loon.
And you are you. Do we have any comments at all before I close this out here? Other than King, no. So yeah, until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles!
Doses.